All right. For the 42nd time, here we try again.
So is that Hillary or Monica you can't get it up with?
Says the guy whose wife won't even hold his hand.
We haven't even started another match, and already you're getting into it.
I can't really blame them for getting restless and bored when we're relying on hope this game doesn't crash on us again.
If we just stuck to the maps that came with the game instead of playing a match on Choke Point Mountain, that wouldn't be a problem.
Choke Point Mountain makes it so you actually have to fight each other. Every other map out there that I've played for this game lacks choke points, resulting in a merry-go-round of everyone stealing each other's resources.
That gets boring real fast. I just want to enjoy the improvements Dawn of War 2 added to the Dawn of War series without the annoyance of why the multiplayer in this game sucks.
This game forces teams when there are more than 3 players. That's not an improvement when I'm stuck on the same team as Bush.
Dawn of War 2 is not without its drawbacks, but we're going to still try to record a session because everyone wants to see it happen.
Even if we could get the Elite mod to work, none of us use the Grey Knights anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference.
It's a shame they still aren't adding in more new factions. Joe should play as the Necrons since they are almost as old as he is.
And you should be playing as the Knights of Griffon chapter or the Pyre Warband, seeing as they are as orange as your fake tan.
Wisecracks aside, the Necrons were dangerous in the hands of a player that knows how to play as them back in Dawn of War 1. If they were in this game, I'd imagine they'd be as tough as the Space Marines, if not more.
Have we all made a final decision as to who we're all going to play as?
Yeah, I've settled on the Tyranids since Slaanesh Chaos Space Marines only have 1 token unit to their name. Besides, they are the faction that put Dawn of War 2 on the map.
I'm going to be a Farseer of Craftworld Weimlock. I dig their color scheme and style.
I'm going to build back better with the Imperial Guard General.
The Imperial 5th Space Marines will stop the aliens and heretics with a wall constructed with the bodies of our enemies.
Self-deprecating humor aside, Alpha Legion tactics are my favorite.
I'm going to play as a good old boy in flyover country.
If we're all set, let's begin.
What the? Why is the loading screen all messed up?
Whoever made this map apparently never learned how to make loading screens properly.
It's not that bad. It looks like the back cover of a Vietnam War film.
No comment.
Maybe it's not perfect, but I really like how much care was put into the scenery.
The borders are too close to the play area. I could have built a better made map. It would have been the best map there is.
Who cares? Are you and George bringing your A-game to this fight?
Dick, your ghost should know I'm always ready to steamroll the underdogs.
Same here, though I'd prefer to use Eldritch Storms instead of boots on the ground.
I gotta say I agree with Barack. This terrain looks really good, like a real swamp in the wee hours of the morning.
Agreed. And since my Imperial Guard's green camo fits perfectly with this environment, it gives me the perfect opportunity to use my Tartarus Defense Force custom army.
I'm going to take the initiative and build some plasma generators since I need power to make any decent units as Chaos.
Come on, Barack. Build Back Better is my shtick.
Chill, Joe. This map has plenty of power nodes in it. Besides, we all benefit from resource points as a team in this game.
All right, boys. Show Sleepy Joe's cannon fodder what we do to enemy combatants.
I'd drop a bombardment if I didn't need troops to capture these stupid resource points.
Has anyone made a mod for this game that allows us to build turrets on our resource points?
Apparently not. I checked. Either nobody has tried or it isn't possible in this game.
Unbelievable. Not to mention how utterly stupid it is how buildable structures suck up unit cap.
Well, that at least is something modding can help. Some of them make it so you can build as many structures as you want, though I think mods like that should expand base building so this game feels like an improvement over Dawn of War 1, instead of throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
I can see George likes to play up his good old boy aesthetic as the orcs with his plasma generators looking like grain silos.
And you've been playing up your build the wall thing by choosing the Space Marine chapter known for siege warfare and having a paint job that looks like your skin tone.
To be fair, George, you were the one who actually constructed the original wall.
Joe, Barack, can you help me hold the line? I don't know how long my Hive node and Termagants can last against these 3.
I just made a Sentinel and more Guardsmen. What about you, Barack?
I'm rather tapped out right now, but when I get the resources, I want to upgrade my HQ so I can make Plague Marines, Dreadnoughts, and Bloodletters.
Shoot, Joe and Bill are coming for our power node.
Relax, my Banshees will make short work of their ranged units.
Oh, shucks, I should have selected the Eldar instead of the Tyranids.
Color me surprised Bill would say that.
Don, you're turned on by your own daughter. Don't pretend you didn't zoom in on Nixon's howling banshees during combat.
Sounds suspiciously specific thing to point out if you ask me. I think you're doing that too, Joe.
Knowing you all personally, I don't think any of you have a leg up on each other on this one.
That was just bad, Barack.
Speaking of Barack being bad, his sorcerer teleported with the help of his throwaway units.
And Barack has a heavy bolter turret guarding the only bridge to the other side. Just like old times, eh, guys?
Not for me. I wanted nothing to do with the Vietnam War.
And our involvement in the Vietnam War ended under my presidency. So that kind of leaves you as the odd one out, George.
Not if you threatened to nuke Vietnam, as if dropping Agent Orange on Vietnam's forests wasn't going to cause enough damage.
Which Agent Orange do you mean? The deadly, disgusting pollutant that isn't only a herbicide, but also permanently ruined Vietnam's jungles and forests, or one of the chicken hawks on the other team?
You ask that as if there's a difference between them.
We'll show you Chicken Hawk when we wreck Bill's headquarters.
Please, Barack, we need your help. Joe and I can't take all three of them at once.
I'm still upgrading my HQ and still low on requisition. Can you guys hold them off until I get at least one Plague Marine squad?
I'll try, but my term against gene stealers and hormagaunts are getting worn down by Nixon's well-equipped aspect warriors.
Nixon, why did you have to choose the Eldar? You know, Squintin' Clinton is going to be like this for the whole match, right?
Relax, Don. It benefits us if it happens to keep Clinton distracted.
Besides Don, this is Nixon we're talking about here. You really think you're going to convince him to choose a commander that isn't perfect for spying?
Whatever, Obama's sorcerer is all alone. Get him.
Just thought I'd get some global resource in before dipping out.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not letting you escape twice, so you can come back to haunt us later.
Yes, he will. Bill and I are ready to prevent you from killing Barack.
George, where are your troops at? All three Democrats have turrets and troops pinning us down on the bridge.
They're on their way, but it looks like you two are holding your own just fine.
What off of earth are those? Those Chaos Space Marines look as though they spent too much time in the White House bathroom during Clinton's presidency.
They're Plague Marines. I'm not exaggerating when I say we need to nuke them from high orbit to stop them.
Considering I always have them take cover and give them support, good luck with that.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
Oh shit, I forgot trees and rocks are destructible in this game.
Get down from there.
Bush, I think it's time we invoke eminent domain on Obama.
Distraction Carnifex.
Don't fall for it. Obama is the real threat here. Look, now his Plague Marines are leveling up.
Don't worry, Don. The cavalry has arrived.
That doesn't look like any kind of horse I've ever seen.
Let me make it right by showing you how much horsepower this battle wagon has.
I can't believe George is the first one to build his most powerful unit already. I just wish I could equip my Plague Marines with more than just one rocket launcher.
You think that thing is tough? Bush's redneck battle wagon is nothing compared to a Trump-built Land Raider. The best tanks to ever be built. The very best.
Then what are you waiting for? Show me up by building one instead of spamming tactical and assault Marines.
Looks like you will have to wait for Bush's next battle wagon for an effective comparison.
Oh, shoot, Joe is strafing us. Run for it.
Wait, explosions actually create indentations in the ground?
Yeah, and the long-term side effect of that is you just created medium cover for troops to hide in with that airstrike.
Well, name a president who doesn't like using airstrikes.
You got me there?
I think we've all done that.
May as well be a part of swearing the oath to get into office.
Oh, great. Obama just sent a Cornate dreadnought to go insane in our tar pit.
Well, if Obama is using the rage ability, then that means he can't control it, right? It'll attack anyone nearby, including its allies.
That's probably why he sent it by itself and waited for all other friendly units to be out of the way when he used that ability.
Can't fool Tricky Dick, I see.
Barack, I practically inspired the fucking Alpha Legion. What were you expecting when I chose to play as the Eldar?
Regardless, for distraction Carnifexes, those Cornate dreadnoughts are really disruptive.
Nice try, Tricky Dick, but it's going to take more than Brightland's platforms to take them down.
How about an Eldritch Storm?
You really just wasted 500 global resource on an Eldritch Storm bombardment just to take out a dreadnought.
I mean, this is Richard Nixon we're talking about here. He wanted to start World War III by nuking the Viet Cong because he couldn't figure out guerrilla warfare.
And you can't figure out how to aim a bombardment ability properly in order to min-max damage.
No, Don, let Bill make mistakes.
Hopefully this will keep them preoccupied until I build my army back up.
Aw, snap. Barry's recruited post-COVID Trump to trickle down the Republican economy.
Biden, you're literally a fossil. If anyone's closest to Nurgle, it's you.
Joe, I'd rather you didn't announce what heat we're packing.
Why not? Is your fudge hot?
Says the guy on his way to a federal penitentiary.
Must be another distraction Carnifex if Obama sent it without support.
A rather expensive distraction, if you ask me.
Bush, you flubbed up the Iraq war and our economy. What makes you think you can talk about expensive?
Shut up, Don. We're on the same team.
George, you didn't give a rat's ass about me or Don when we were arguing with the Democrats. You're in no position to tell him about teamwork.
Well, there goes my Uber unit. It did its job, though.
Bill and I are holding them off. Barack, do you plan on doing anything with that army of Plague Marines?
Yeah, I can use them to help you two hold off the Republicans before teleporting them all into the back of the enemy base. That way they'll level up so they're stronger.
That's a genius idea. Oh, Tricky Dick will be so mad when we get one over him.
That'll work as long as they didn't just hear us.
I'm the only one producing the most powerful unit for my faction. Neither one of you have even bothered to make one Land Raider or Avatar.
Dubia, a Land Raider isn't a Hail Mary over multiple Predator tanks. You have a lot of nerve to whine at me about how I attack when you keep sending battle wagons without support.
My Storm Boys would have been able to support it if you did more than just keep your Space Marines at the back. And Tricky Dick has been spamming infantry instead of making vehicles for some reason, so I don't want to hear it.
This is what I don't like about this map. I feel as though my base and Joe's base are too exposed to enemy attacks.
Your bases are as easy to attack as your Scandals or Bush's battle wagon. I suggested you use looted tanks for a reason, George.
Maybe if you, I don't know, actually help me attack them, then that wouldn't be an issue.
Maybe if your units would slow down and wait for mine, I would have been able to cover you in battle.
Guys, both of you shut up. Barack's troops are inside our base.
What do you mean inside our base? There's no way he got past our front lines.
Just like there was no way Iraq didn't have WMDs?
I should have teleported them to the back of their base. My timing couldn't have been worse.
Are Barack's Plague Marines actually getting healed by the other ones dying?
Yes, Plague Marines explode on death, which damages their enemies but heals other Plague Marines under Barack's control.
Those things are overpowered. How much do they cost? Does anyone know?
Well, clearly not enough if he managed to make 6 squads of them.
Look at the bright side, Barack. Your ambush on the Republicans' base disrupted their attack long enough for Bill and I to recover.
Next time I will be more careful where I teleport them all to.
I just told Joe not to say that out loud, Barack. Now they're going to be on the lookout for your sorcerer.
I don't know, I think they're still arguing last I checked.
Oh, geez, Barack's trying to take me out. Are you really still mad about Hurricane Katrina? I thought we talked about this when I was coaching you on being president.
George, we on the other side like you as a person and appreciate what you had to say, criticizing Don's conduct as president and now as someone on his way to the pokey. But when it comes to hindsight on your domestic policy, you two aren't really different enough in a way that would make me want you to get a third term, if that was even something you were allowed to have.
I agree with Barack. I like you as my neighbor, but I also remember you and the Clintons tried keeping gay marriage illegal and catered to the Christian right.
Hey, wait a minute. You mean you two feel the same way about me?
And there goes 3,000 requisition down the drain. How are you two holding up?
Now hold on just a minute.
Trump deep striked a squad of tactical Marines, and Nixon has a Guardian squad capping our points, but we can take them.
You mean to tell me
You two are going to have to hold them off until I can get my army back to strength.
you two opposed what I did as president? I thought we were besties.
Well, gee, Bill, I didn't realize you'd take it that personally.
Yeah, Bill, we can agree to disagree on how we run the country. Maybe your third-way political positions were the foot in the door we needed to end Republican rule. It's just that the well-being of LGBT people was something I wasn't going to back down on.
In all the years I've known you, I got to admit I've never seen you flip that fierce.
Why couldn't you have reacted to our invasion with that kind of gusto?
Don, don't provoke him. I'm trying to win here.
You know I can hear you, right?
Probably, but as a general rule, it's best to do everything in one's power to not help the opponent.
I wonder how a co-op game with all of us would go the way this match is unfolding.
I can't imagine that would end well.
It would be worth a try to get more views and subscribers seeing the popularity of that Age of Empires video where Joe and I controlled the same player.
That was so annoying. I'll share a player with anyone else, but not someone who is going to adamantly force us to Mind Stone, which would have caused our demise had you not won via cheat codes.
I've always talked about learning success. I don't recall suggesting being ethical about it.
Speaking of things that aren't right, my base is so close to the cliff the Republicans can now hit my HQ now that the trees are gone.
I'm sending reinforcements, Bill. Barack, please, use your army to help Bill before he loses his base and we get outnumbered.
My Plague Marines are in the back of my base because I was going to try another ambush. Can you two handle them?
Barack, please, my Sentinel and Guardsmen aren't enough to stop them.
Besides, all three of them are ganging up on me all at once. There's no way the two of us are enough.
Bill isn't a fan of gangbangs. He'd rather take it low and slow one at a time.
Compared to Trump, who'll probably be going to prison over a gangbang, to a different kind of gangbang.
All right, fine. I'm sending them to help you. They need to level up anyway.
I hate to admit Trump is right about anything, but yeah, those Plague Marines are cutting through my battle wagon faster than I cut through the Iraqi army.
Who knew? It takes a power-hungry conqueror to take down a power-hungry conqueror.
Don, you outright attempted to stage an auto coup to overthrow our government. Don't pretend like you're not in that camp, too.
Barack, why are you pulling your troops back? Those predator annihilators are going to finish me off.
Well, it's Barack after all, it's not out of character.
Your dementia pills must be wearing off for you to forget. I'm the only one of us who didn't do that.
Yeah, Joe, you're supposed to be on our team, remember?
Dawn of War 2 is a team game.
Oh, well. His cognitive ability was nice to have around while it lasted.
Can I at least make another base?
In case you weren't listening to the conversation we had earlier, no, you can't. That's why Dawn of War 2's skirmish mode needs modifying for it to be worth playing.
Now look who's looking a gift horse in the mouth.
Nah, this is different. You and Bush pretty much have Bill dead to rights.
I knew you'd kill the Bill of Rights.
Joe, they're talking about how they just killed off Bill. You know, as in Bill Clinton.
Yeah, well, that too.
Hang on here. I can still order my remaining troops around, and I didn't get a pop-up saying that I'm defeated.
Surprise, motherfucker.
You never learn, do you, Barack?
I don't know, he seemed to learn to teleport them all to the least defended part of our base.
Good thing I built a bunch of turrets after he said he'd teleport there this time.
You may as well have just built troops or dreadnoughts, given that turrets take up unit cap in the base game.
Now, what are you talking about? Turrets are the way to go.
Yeah, of course you're saying that. Trump's turrets are going down like flies.
Just like how they took down your battle wagon.
You know, at least I'm trying to create a decently powerful army. I'm practically carrying the war effort, whereas you and Tricky Dick haven't done shit.
Do you ever do anything but whine like a bitch at us, Shrub?
Yeah, I don't suck at playing the game.
Bush, if we ever play Among Us, I will vote you no matter what for impersonating a Republican.
Seems like the only thing the sorcerer is good for is teleporting troops. This line of fire attack is just so weak.
Maybe I should have chosen the warp spider so I could teleport out of this situation. I just couldn't resist the ability to spy on my enemies.
That was a close one. I don't want to have to spend 250 rec to revive my sorcerer. If I can just hide him for a few minutes, I can teleport him back to base to heal up.
Of course, Obama abandoning his own for his own gain.
Trump, that was exactly what you did in Syria.
It isn't if he's a Siberian candidate.
Says the Taliban candidate.
For the love of the dark, Prince, I just want to play and enjoy a video game that I didn't live long enough to see released. Can't we all just focus on that for once?
No.
Shocker. I look forward to playing a game like Among Us, so long as I'm the imposter.
At least that would not be out of character.
From what my father told me about you, you'd be a natural at it.
Just not a natural at defeating my plague marines.
How is Clinton still able to use bombardments and abilities when we defeated him already?
If we don't finish off what units he has left, he can still gain global resource by killing our units and thus still use abilities. And if we don't stop Obama's plague marines soon, I will know what that's like firsthand.
Well, at least my venerable dreadnought and remaining turrets are finishing off his Marines. Plague Marines are a lot less difficult to deal with when they have no cover to hide in.
Joe, Bill, we need to coordinate better. How about we all wait for each other to be ready before doing another attack?
Don't worry, Barry. Ogrins are on the way.
Yeah, I definitely should have chosen to play as a Chaos Sorcerer. Their nuke is way better than my Eldritch Storm.
I'm back. Say goodbye to Nixon's base.
Oh, great. Not again.
It's just going to be a bummer that now there's going to be no more howling banshees to observe.
Geez, and here I thought Sleepy Joe was bad.
The guy who admitted he'd bang Ivanka if she wasn't his own daughter is throwing stones from a glass house.
If you guys didn't all run against each other for the presidency, you'd bond over your perverted similarities.
Nixon and Trump were right. You really are a prick, George.
I can't imagine a cooperative game with all of us on the same team would end well if we keep arguing like this.
With that being said, I don't understand why you guys are friends who still play with each other.
It's nothing really that personal, honestly. Ever since most of us have been out of office, we've just been bored out of our skulls and just want to make the most out of retirement.
I don't really care about politics that much now that I've been out of the White House. The only one who really has to keep on his toes is Joe, since he's currently the president.
Besides, I'm a lot more concerned about foreign policy right now than what opponent I'm going to be facing up against.
When I get out of lockup, we'll see about that.
Considering the Republican Party's leadership wants to play kingmaker against you, and the last time you tried running third party didn't work back in 1999, good luck with that. You'll need it.
Getting back to the game, now that Nixon is down, both sides are evenly matched again.
I don't know. I'm wearing down Trump's base, and his Terminators don't seem to be a match for plague marines.
Good. I'm building up a strike force. And Bill still has a few units left that are keeping him in the match.
I like how there's a path that leads out of our bases, and Barack can't run anyway.
I fucking swear to God.
Not again.
It's all good, guys. It didn't crash or freeze this time.
The way this match has been going, I wouldn't have minded that much.
Even though I lost, I wouldn't feel like doing another repeat of this.
Besides Don, you might want to savor playing this while you're here.
Savor trying to work together with Bush to stop Obama and Biden?
Well, we could technically include Clinton in that mix since his army didn't get wrecked as bad as Nixon's.
What can I say? I beat Nixon at his own game.
I never completely learned how to play this, so that's not even a fair comparison.
Barack seems to be the most dangerous enemy we have right now, seeing how disorganized and insignificant Joe and Bill's attacks are.
Bill can't build troops, and Joe can't seem to play competently without his dementia pills.
In that case, I guess it's up to me again.
Oh, hush. I've been supporting you two from the grave using bombardments, deep strikes, and ambushes.
What about me? Look, I'm attacking too.
Great way to start. Now build tanks so it actually makes a difference.
Oh, shut up. I can do airstrikes too.
You're supposed to airstrike Bush and Trump, not us.
And just like Barack in the Middle East, he whacks units friendly to him instead of enemy combatants.
You're one to talk, you did that too.
Except it's not by accident when I did it.
You know, you just said the quiet part out loud, right?
I already had my 2 terms. I don't care at this point.
Well, I'm dead in both the game and in real life, but I still gave advice to Trump after I was out of office.
To which I am eternally grateful for. Now I just need to start binging on those after-prison YouTube channels just in case things go south worse than it already is.
What? You mean everything isn't going perfectly all the time for Donald Trump?
Shut up, Bill. You have access to the fake news media just like everyone else to know something's going on.
Speaking of something bad happening,
clearly the game has been targeting us from the start if it chooses to not crash or freeze only when the Democrats are winning.
Don't be a hypocrite, Trump. None of us complained when you carried that game of Soulstorm we played back in May.
Like I said then, that's because it was me who was winning. This is different because the game isn't unfair in my favor.
Yeah, well, you're not going to be a problem much longer.
In the game or in real life?
Definitely in the game, since it's going to take more than orc snipers to save him.
Orc snipers, really?
Probably either teleported there by mistake or George's base is too close to the mountain.
Just great. My HQ is destroyed. Looks like it's up to you, Bush.
All right, Barry. My orc boys are coming to show you what happens when you try that in a small town.
They're Republican orcs, so that means they're not wearing masks and are unvaccinated.
Oh, so scary.
It will be when they catch COVID, the flu, pneumonia, and every STD in existence when my plague marines just shoot them, let alone touch them.
So, in other words, the Plague Marines are libertarians.
Either that or Republicans who just don't like me. Those are becoming more common now that the GOP decided to turn their backs against the one who got them back into power.
Joe, Bill, how's the push going?
I'm doing all I can to farm global resource whilst conserving my meager forces. And Joe is trickling down Bush's army now that it has to single-handedly fight on two fronts.
I got to admit, Bush is the only one who either knows how to play or is the only one on the other team trying to win.
All I can ask you, Bush, is this. Do you see yourself choosing the orcs again, given how weak their battle wagons seem to be?
Perhaps next time I'll try the Imperial Guard, particularly the 51st Coronona Grenadiers.
Yeah, you would choose the desert scheme. Probably reminds you of the fun you had in Iraq.
If I go against you, yes, since you and Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars both hate sand.
With that fake tan on his face, I thought he would love being on the beach.
No, you guys got it all wrong. He doesn't want our troops getting in the way of our geopolitical opponents. That was why he had the United States withdrawal from Syria and Afghanistan.
Clinton, Bush, and Obama did nothing but kick the can down the road. I worked us towards actually getting us out of the Middle East because we weren't staying there indefinitely for a good reason.
Speaking of cans getting kicked, Bush, you may as well give it up because this match is not looking like it'll end well for you.
This is Warhammer 40,000. Surrender is not a thing.
I don't want Bush to surrender anyway. I want to get as many execution points as possible.
Execution points?
Yeah, that's what EXP stands for, right? Sans explained that in the Hall of Judgment.
This is Warhammer 40K, not Undertale, you moron.
To be fair, execution points would be pretty fitting for Warhammer 40K's grimdark setting.
Good game, guys. Once again, Bush put up a hell of a fight.
I do and don't want to see the scoreboard.
Until then, we get to stare at a loading screen for 5 minutes straight.
I'm just glad we actually managed to record a whole game session this time. Hopefully it won't take another month to edit it all.
I don't mind because it's easy to follow, kind of like NASCAR.
Too bad NASCAR fans hate your guts. Their reporters had to claim that fuck Joe Biden was actually them cheering on Brandon Brown.
I'll deal with those people the same way I took their Bud Light from them. I'll make NASCAR woke and bankrupt them as punishment if they don't keep your people under control.
Well, at least every guy out there with Brandon as a first name knows my supporters are there for them.
That's unexpectedly wholesome of you. Oh, here are the results.
It says I am the champion. That means I get first place.
That makes no sense. You went down first.
Damn, Joe, you didn't do shit.
I'm just glad that's over. I don't feel like playing this again for a while.
Regardless, good game.